Mitai is the perfect snack, appetizer, or even dessert to serve for your family because the mitai are sweet, flavorful with a very nice cardamom and lemon flavor. And they're super versatile because you can serve over a cup of coffee, tea, or even some juice. You're going to need some all-purpose flour. We have sugar, custard powder, cardamom powder, which is going to flavor the mitai. We have salt, instant yeast, lemons, milk, and cooking oil. The recipe is as simple as that, and you're going to find all the ingredients listed in the description box in the right quantity. So in your mixing bowl, you're going to start off by adding in your milk. This is 1 cup. Add in sugar, instant yeast, and this is 10 grams. Add in my all-purpose flour, custard powder, cardamom powder, and salt. I'm going to keep my bowl aside, pick a box grater and grate zest of 2 lemons. Add in my zest into the bowl as well. Mix in everything until a shaggy dough is formed. If you have a stand mixer, you're going to repeat by adding in all the ingredients into your stand mixer and knead for around 3 to 4 minutes or 4 to 5 minutes at most. And it's going to be quite easy for you because the stand mixer is going to do all the work for you. Now, when it comes to yeast, as I said earlier on, I'm using instant yeast, which doesn't need to bloom. So if you're going to be using dry yeast, you're going to add in the milk, sugar, and the instant yeast. Let everything sit for around 5 minutes so that the mixture or so that the yeast can bloom. The custard powder is going to make the mitai very, very delicious. Also, you notice that your dough has an orange hue color from the custard powder. If you notice that you have added in a lot of wet ingredients, you're going to sprinkle with a little bit of flour at a time and knead until you get a soft and elastic dough. And if the dough is too dry, just add in a tablespoon or a teaspoon of milk at a time until the dough is perfect. Make sure the milk is lukewarm before adding in the yeast, because if you add in hot milk, the yeast is going to die and your mitai won't puff up while frying in the cooking oil. Once you have a dough, you're going to be kneading for around 2 to 3 minutes while lifting and tucking, just like this. And of course, you can double, triple the ingredients to make some more mitai for your family. Add in a tablespoon of cooking oil or a tablespoon of melted margarine or butter. Once done, you're going to knead until the cooking oil is evenly distributed in the dough. I love adding in fresh lemon zest because it brings out all the flavors in my mitai. So don't skip on the lemon peels. The good thing about trying out making some mitai is that you have all the ingredients in your pantry. So it's going to be very easy for you to go out, maybe buy a lemon so that you can add in some more flavor. This is how my dough is looking after kneading. And as you can see, it's not sticky at all. So now I'm going to place back into my bowl. Cover with some cooking oil, around a teaspoon, which is going to help the dough not to dry out while resting. Kneading the dough for around 5 minutes is going to activate the gluten structure of the flour. So now you have to rest for around an hour or until doubled up in size so that the glutens can rest and your dough to double up in size. Wrap with a cling film or a plastic wrap. I'm also going to be placing a kitchen towel because the weather is not very hot. Then I'm going to place in a warm area in my kitchen while I do something else as the dough is doubling up in size. So I'm going to clear my working surface and see you in an hour. This is after around 1 hour and my dough has doubled up in size. So I'm going to punch to knock off any excess air in the dough. Then I'm going to transfer to my countertop. I'm going to knead once more for around 30 seconds, and as you can see, the dough is looking so good. Tuck the dough in the bottom just like this to form a smooth top. Then I'm going to spread some more flour so that I can use my rolling pin and roll out my dough. Once done, I'm going to cut my dough into strips. Then you're going to make some diamond patterns by tilting your cutter just like this and making even cuts on the dough. Once done, you're going to be placing a frying pan with cooking oil for frying your mitai. So I'm going to separate the mitai as the cooking oil is getting hot. Diamond is the signature shape when it comes to mitai. So now you're going to check if the cooking oil is ready by dropping in a piece of dough. Once you notice small bubbling or if the dough floats, the oil is ready for you to fry your mitai. And also you'll notice that once you cut out the dough, it starts doubling up in size once more because of the yeast. And let me tell you, the cardamom and lemon flavor are going to infuse while the dough is resting, so the mitai are going to be very flavorful. Once your oil is ready, you're going to carefully drop in the pieces of dough on the side of your pan so that the oil doesn't splash. Make sure the oil is not too hot because the mitai are going to cook super fast on the outside and the inside is not going to be cooked. You're going to fry your mitai for around 1 to 2 minutes or until they have a perfectly golden brown color. Also make sure not to overcrowd your pan because the mitai are going to soak in oil because the temperature of the oil is going to drop. Immediately you add in the mitai into the hot cooking oil, they are going to start cooking and you'll notice that they are puffing up. That is because of the yeast. And also you notice that they are flipping themselves. Is that the right word? Yeah, I guess so. The reason the mitai are flipping themselves is because of the fluffiness. That is the yeast working its own magic. So just keep on flipping using your skimmer so that all the sides can get a nice golden brown color. When everything is ready, you're going to just skimmer and scoop out, shake off the excess oil and just look at that. They're so gorgeous. So now you're going to transfer to a plate or a bowl lined with kitchen paper towel to drain off the excess oil. Then you're going to be adding in your next round. And as you can see, the dough has doubled up in size once more, so they are very squishy. Make sure the oil is not too hot. Going to carefully drop in this is the only trick if you're always afraid of frying food. Just drop on the side and the dough will slide straight in. Once ready, you're going to scoop out and transfer to the rest. It has taken me 3 batches to fry my mitai without burning and without overcrowding. So if you have a bigger pan, it's going to take you around 2 batches to fry your mitai until ready. So for this other step, for the next step, that is, you're going to need some sugar and a 1/4 cup of water together with cardamom powder. This is how your mitai are going to be looking on the inside. As you can see, it's very fluffy, still very hot, crispy on the outside, and slightly sweet. Once done frying, I'm going to pick a pot. And into my pot, I'm going to be adding in my sugar and water over medium flame. Every ingredient is listed in the description box down below, so don't worry, just check out and try out the recipe. Then next, I'm going to be adding in some cardamom powder. Wait for around a minute or 2 for the sugar to fully melt. If you notice that the flames are too hot, reduce the flames to low. Once your sugar is fully melted, just like this, you're going to put out the flames and add in your mitai. This is a very important step when it comes to making mitai. So you're going to toss your mitai so that you can coat with the sugar syrup, which is very hot. Or you can use a spoon and toss the mitai with the sugar syrup, which is very flavorful since we added in some cardamom powder. Once fully coated, this is how your mitai is going to be looking. As you can see, every single mitai is coated with the sugar syrup. So you're going to continue tossing until the sugar dries off or cools down. And as the sugar is cooling down, you'll notice that the texture is changing on the mitai. Continue as I toss until the sugar is completely cooled off. This is the final look when your mitai are fully coated with the sugar syrup and after cooling down. When mixing in your dry ingredients, you add in 2 tablespoons of sugar, which make the mitai slightly sweet once done frying. But after coating with the sugar syrup, the mitai turn into an amazing, very sweet, delicious, flavorful mitai. So this is a recipe worth trying, because let me tell you, the kids are going to be all over the house snacking on the mitai. Or if you have a friend that has a sweet tooth, this is the recipe for you to prepare and surprise her or him.